Welcome to Sunrise Sisters. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kate, and we're two runners who became friends quickly. We share advice, we laugh, and we're taking our runs off the road and into the studio.
Are we going? All right, we're going.
Hi, Shannon.
Good morning, Kate. How are you today?
I'm good. We haven't recorded in quite some time.
That's true. There's been a lot going on, I think, from a million different directions.
You're wearing an Avalanche shirt. Did you run this morning?
I have not. I had planned to run first thing, but I felt like I needed some rest today. Felt like I needed to sleep, and I felt like when I first got up, I needed rest. So I'm thinking of going out for a walk with the dog after our recording. How about you? Did you get out today?
I felt the same way. I set my alarm. I let myself sleep in. I knew I was going to be tired, and I meant to run early, and then I didn't because I felt like I needed to rest. Yeah. And then I got up and I had a little coffee, and I'm like, you know what? I really need to run. I don't have wiggle room today. So it was now or never.
Yeah.
So I ended up going out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was happy I got out. If I didn't go out then, I never would have gone. So,
well, in that topic, I feel like you and I have talked a lot about balance. I'm going to use the word balance. It's my word for 2025.
Oh, I like that.
And professional is balance.
Yeah.
Because in the last year, and we've talked about it on this podcast and personally, finding moments that it's okay for rest because that's what my mind needs, my mental health needs, my body needs, and being okay with that.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I wouldn't be okay with that. I felt lost on those days.
Yeah, same. Even the last year, I think we've given ourselves permission to slow down. We've walked more than ever. Maybe I just wore you down. I don't know. But but we walk more, or we walk, or I think we've even had a day where we're like, let's just stretch. I love being outside. I love running. I'm happy I did it this morning. But I also have had many weekends. I just let myself not do that. And I'll walk instead, or I'll just stretch on my own or read. I think that's important.
I do think it's important too. And that right now we're in a cold part, wintry part of the calendar. And the weather is not always agreeable. We've had a few days too because it wasn't safe to go out. But also that idea of balance, because I think we've needed the rest. We've had a lot going on personally, professionally, whatever. And we're looking forward to getting our routine back because we also are feeling a pull toward getting back out there together. We miss our time together and what that does for our mental health.
Yeah, I think that routine is so helpful. We were just talking about this like a week or two ago, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would not have survived the last few years without our runs. I know that I would be in such a mentally different space if I didn't have our runs. The last couple months have been truly some of the biggest hits I've had in a very short amount of time.
Right.
And I'm very grateful just to be outside and to have the fresh air and nature and have our runs. And there was a couple of really, really rough weeks where I just we couldn't see each other.
Yes.
I wasn't even sleeping through the night for weeks. So I was just tapped. But to get back, to know we had that routine and then to be able to get back to it was so helpful. We still aren't really on track, I think, with everything going on, but it just feels good to get out.
100%. Well, that's the difference, I think, than where we would have been in a year ago. The right thing for a couple of months was to allow for rest, for space, be okay that our calendars, because I also had part of that too. I had trips, a work thing. There were times where we were just not going to be together. Then instead of saying lots of regrets about that, to say, okay, we're ready. This running, we want to get back to because we know that we need it. We know how important it is, and important during this time of year. We're getting some of our light back, but it's still dark, been gray with the weather in moments. And that fresh air, like you talked about, getting out in the morning, having that, just knowing, okay, we're ready to get back. Do you feel the same way? I feel like I'm like, okay, we've got our stuff now. How do we get back? And I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm excited about it.
Totally. Yeah, I felt that way this morning for sure. I was really happy that I got out, and we're right on the cusp of seeing the sunrise again too. There's something about we talk about it all the time, being outside. It's just very healing.
Absolutely. I did a little research of the benefits of running in the cold, and I was shocked at about 20 of them came up. I thought
Mm.
I would read up a few of these and we could react to them because there is both. One is it
I can't
really
think of any benefits of running in the cold weather, but so wow. Okay.
your feedback there is just it stinks, right? But first of all, one of the things is improving your mood, especially people who have tend to have depressive mood disorders in the winter or what's known as SAD, seasonal
Yeah.
affective disorder. That
Yep.
getting outside actually is something that improves your mood during that time. And then in step with that, and we can talk about these two first before I go on to some other fun ones, is increasing mental toughness. So, right
Oh,
along with your, like, oh, it's terrible to go out, the
yeah.
fact that we go out anyway and we really
Yeah.
have to be tough through that cold air and figure out what the right gear is and persevere
Hmm.
at a moment where we'd rather be in our blankets in our bed not doing anything.
Yeah. See, that's so interesting that you bring that up because I don't even think about that. But if I talk to people who don't do it, they'll say, wow, I can't believe you do that. And I don't give it a second thought anymore. I still remember the night before our first run together and how stressed out I was.
Really?
Oh gosh, I laid out my clothes. I had 3 alarm clocks. I was so stressed out that I was going to, this is when we started to run, actually. It was February.
You're right. We're about, okay, we never do the number, but are we at like a 9 year anniversary here?
Oh
Is
my
this
gosh. Okay, why don't we ever remember?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
8 or 9 years? We have to
I think
figure
it's
that out.
9. I think
Is it
it's 9.
9 years?
I think so. I
Oh
think
my gosh.
wherever we are, though, it was in this month, February.
Yes,
I'm going
it
to
was
name the
this month.
month
The worst
and
month. The
the
worst month
worst
to start
month.
running outside. Yeah. I don't give it a second thought. If you don't do it on a regular basis, it's pretty impressive, I guess. But I don't know if I don't know if I would have, okay. I wouldn't have done this by myself. You would have because you were doing it by yourself before you dragged me along. But I don't know if I would have had the stuff to do this, a few times a week by myself.
Okay, I'm going to
I don't
challenge
know.
that. It's possible you wouldn't have started in February and made it by yourself. I think the learn we've had and the mental toughness, most people say, I wouldn't do it or I couldn't do it. And I
Mhm.
feel like one of the gains I've had since I started running right from the very beginning, besides the cold weather,
Mhm.
was the mindset of, I'm not going to say I can't. If I don't run, I'm going to say I don't want to
I don't want to, right. Yeah,
because I can put on the right gear, I can
right.
do the right safety checks, I can have the lights. And so when I started at the best possible time, which is the summer. It's light, it's bright. You only have to put on a couple articles of clothing and
Mhm.
sneakers, and it was beautiful to be out. When the mental toughness comes in is when you don't want to do it because the conditions aren't ideal.
Right.
And the idea that you wanted to come run with me and you pushed through
Mhm.
the idea of I'm nervous and this is uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And for me, it was continuing what I started and having that mindset to start with, which was, all right, am I doing this or not? And my answer was, I'm doing this. So you have to persevere. And I think there's something very freeing about knowing you can,
Mhm.
right? You can.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, I don't think twice about it now. I don't think of it as a big deal or something that's hard. It just is.
Yes. Well, what it says here in increasing mental toughness, part of it is changing your attitude about the cold. So if you go from, I don't want to go out there, I can't, whatever those things are, but suddenly you say it's a normal course for you and I, like you said, I don't even think twice about it. That's a big change of attitude and mindset about the cold. Because now it probably also shows up when you need to take a walk or need to be outside for an event. Your mindset changes of, yeah, I do this all the time. I think so. I don't know if it feels that
Yeah.
way for you.
I think your mindset changes with all sorts of things. This was like a jumping off point. It was so out of my comfort zone to do this. It was out of my comfort zone to join, like show up to a running group. But that was how we met, that Saturday morning running group. That was way out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And out of my comfort zone to show up early in the morning. And yeah, so I was definitely a night owl. I was not an early morning person at all.
Right.
And so it's so interesting how your life can really change just by stepping out a little bit and doing something that feels uncomfortable. And then your body and your brain just settle into that. And then, you can move on to the next step. Maybe this was like the jumping off point for all the other stuff that we've done in the last 8 to 10 years. We still are out figuring out that.
That's so true. I love that you brought it there, Kate, that if you have an experience where you persevere, you gain mental toughness, you show that the thing you think you couldn't do or didn't want to do, you can do. It opens you up to more of those experiences because you challenge the idea of I can't do it or I'm not able to do it.
Right.
So that wasn't true the last time, and I gained so much. I still think it's cosmic complicity, and I'm pulling out my rear end a term from my Gothic literature days in high school, where they talked about the concept of cosmic complicity is people meeting in these novels, like they're brought together from something greater than themselves. I think there's a cosmic complicity. You and I met because we weren't comfortable with, and then we met, and then
without a doubt. Everything was set up for us to become friends.
Yes.
I don't know where I would be if we didn't have each other and we didn't have our runs. I'd be in a hole in the middle of a field and sucking my thumb.
That's funny and creepy. I hear you. I hear what that feels like. I feel that whole sentence. I do. I feel that for sure.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. It really brought more to our lives. Now, here's something more to add into what cold weather running does for you.
Okay.
Ease up the fat stores. And I am feeling this one so much right now.
Your fat stores are, what does it do? What does it do?
Freeze up your fat stores. I'll read it. Our bodies are primed to naturally preserve and store more fat during the winter months. However, because we don't live outdoors anymore, let me see if I can get to this. Sorry. So because we don't live outside, we don't burn any of this. We just store up the fat, right? It's this idea that we need more fat to get through the winter months. So going out and running is burning some of the fat that your body wants to hang on to in the winter. And my body's hanging on to it right now and not getting out there. I am very much feeling it, which is another reason I am highly motivated to get back into our routine with the idea that we will allow ourselves some space when we need it, sleep, etc. But I need to get out there. My fat stores are revved up. I don't know about you.
They need to be free.
They need to be free. Yes. So we have that. There's so many things. How about boosting your immune system? That's something. Is everybody you know sick? You have many family members going through different illnesses.
Yeah, everyone's on the mend now. These last couple months, I had 2 full weekends of high fever, couldn't get out of bed. Literally hit me Friday night, down for the count for 24 hours.
I'm going to read this if I can get again to the
burn off your stress hormone. I was reading something about the trees give off something. I was watching some interview about the trees giving off some immune properties. And so now that's like the running joke with my kids. I'm like, we need to get outside. We need to walk among the trees.
Isn't it forest bathing, right? You get in
system.
Yeah, forest bathing, right? I don't know if I don't quite know what forest bathing is. We need to look it up and maybe talk about it next time. But there is something about being in the trees, this is actually a funny one now that I got to the meaning of it, right? You'll boost your immune system. Every winter brings a new round of nasty sick spells, which most people blame on the cold weather. It's a common misconception that being in the cold can give you a cold, but it's not true. In fact, exercise is one of the best ways to strengthen your immune system. Staying cooped up inside may expose you to more people, who may be harboring this season's latest cold. So getting away from them.
Getting away from people.
Yes. So I'm thinking it's being outside. It's, I guess, boosting your health, which I'm sure it's what it's saying, but it's also getting the heck
It's
away from all those sick
it's
people.
being a loner. It's being a loner. Yes.
Victoria has something to
Victoria's
add.
I do. So, Harvard Health Publishing says that trees give off volatile essential oils called phytoncides that have antimicrobial properties that may influence immune system.
Wow.
walk among the trees. That's it. I'm
That's
like 101 fever. I'm like, I need to get out to be with the trees. I'm like dragging myself out.
Well, that is a mood piece too. Being cooped up too long. There's days where we want to kind of hunker down. Like tonight into tomorrow's going to be a big snowstorm. I love the idea that we're going to be all, kind of cozied up. I want to light a candle, do the hygge kind of concept. But there's also that piece of, I got to get the heck out of here. I got to get some fresh air. I need the light. So for me, even though we're running in the dark, I do the walks after with the dog. That light helps wake me up, gives me energy. Our run gives me energy.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. We walked yesterday, though. We did not run yesterday. You know what? My ankle was a little sore this morning on my run. I think it's from when were we attempting to jog yesterday and I rolled my ankle twice, or were we just simply walking? We were running.
So just for everybody, we decided that we were going to walk because there had been an ice storm after a bit of snow and everything was jumbled and there had been a lot of work to clear it. We were at a school, so we said, let's go to the school, has the best chances of being cleared because they're getting ready for the day. But the sidewalks were not nobody's fault. It just was terrible weather. So the ability to clear it to the best of people's ability. So we wanted to try running. I had a heavy coat on because I was ready for walking. So it was already awkward. And you rolled your ankle twice. And then I tried to get us to run again. And you were like, no. And we're right. Because we were going to hurt ourselves and we couldn't do that.
Yeah, we were just we did this little pattern for a couple of minutes where we jogged for 10 seconds and then we walked and then we jogged. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So it was a good walk, though. We walked for like a good 30 minutes.
We did. And we just wanted to be together. And that was a good example of allowing ourselves to stray from what we wanted to do because the right thing at that moment was to just really get outside and walk and be together because we hadn't been together in a while. I was on a trip. And now I want you and I to get ready for next week. I am so excited when I say to our listeners, to you and Victoria, I'm ridiculously excited about us getting back out to running, like in a way, like I know we have not been doing it and I'm excited, almost giddy.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know how to answer that, do you?
I feel honored that you are giddy to be with me. Thank you.
Are you creeped out a little?
No.
Okay.
I'm glad someone's giddy to hang out with me. You and my cat.
All right. Let's get ready for next week then.
Sunrise Sisters would like to thank Sterling-Lancaster Community Television, all of our friends on social media, our listeners.
I'd like to thank Brooke Winsman for our fantastic logo. Thanks for listening. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kate, and thanks for running with us.